Guys, on this particular video, we're going to be talking about Big Brother issuing strike. Yes, we're also going to be talking about the Head of House challenge and nominations. And yes, we're also going to be talking about Jojo and Nate. Yes, how basically a narrative is being painted about Abobo. So let's just get right into this video. First things first, I would like to talk about the Head of House challenge. So apparently the Head of House challenge had commenced, yes, and I mean the whole vibe for the Head of House challenge was given. Yes, it was given the whole crime scene stuff, yes, and it was on point. Yes, I loved the aesthetics that had to go into this challenge. Now, Big Brother had gathered them together and had basically told them that this game was going to be played in 3 rounds. However, depending on how the housemates do or how they struggle to cope in the games, it might be shorter. Yes, he had told them that for the first game, it was basically them getting a maximum of 4 housemates. Now, Big Brother had told them that basically they were to study the crime scene, yes, which is this stuff that things are on. That's the crime scene. As you can see on your screen, they were to study this crime scene for 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes he had told them to stand at one of the tables. And when they had stood there, Big Brother had before then told them that, I mean, he would ask them questions about the crime scene. Yes, and they were to write on the boards, and then if they get it correctly, a ball will be added in the empty bowl that they have in front of them. And Big Brother had asked questions upon questions. At the end of the day, Jojo and Nsuku had 7 points each and they had qualified. And then we had seen Sweet Galuva, Uyanda, beekay, and siphesihle having 5 points each, and they had been evicted from the game. And then we saw a sudden death game. Yes, because Big Brother had said it that if there was a tie, a sudden death will be played. Yes, and that was between mshini, Nate, Abobo, and basically these people had done the whole this thing, and switch. Yes, these people had done the whole sudden death, and the first person to qualify from the sudden death was mshini, and then Swiss had qualified. So for the next round, the people playing were Jojo, Nsuku, mshini, and Swiss. Yes, for the next game, Big Brother had told them that this next game is basically simple. Yes, now there were 4 locks and they had to play this game after playing a lucky dip. Yes, after choosing from the lucky dip. And it's funny that the way Big Brother had called their names initially was how they still stood, or should I say the way they qualified was how they still stood. And after that, Big Brother had then told them that, I mean, there were 4 safes, yes, and these 4 safes each had keys in them. And he had told them that what they must do is retrieve the keys from inside the safes. He had told them that they were numbers inserted in the whiteboard in front of them, and when the buzzer goes, they were just to flip it, yes, and basically rearrange the numbers to get the right code. Yes, open it and take the keys from inside and move backwards. And at the end of the day, Nsuku and Jojo had qualified. Now for the third game, Big Brother had told them that those keys that they had removed, yes, they open 15 padlocks. So they were basically to open this wooden box that you can see. They were to make sure they open all 15 locks, put on the table, and then bring out the paper that was there labeled confidential. And then at the end of the day, Nsuku had won. Yes, and as she won, she was so happy she even cried. Yes, the housemates were telling her no, not to do that, and mshini was like, no baby girl, cry if you want to cry. Now at the end of the day, Nsuku had reciprocated mshini's art of picking her as guest. Yes, remember this week that just passed, I mean, mshini was the head of house and she had picked Nsuku as her guest. Now, Nsuku, being the head of house, had done same by picking mshini as her guest. And mshini had accepted and all that. And Big Brother had told them from the beginning of the game and had reminded them again that the head of house had the privilege to add a housemate to the nominated list. Yes. Now, while they were awaiting nominations, something had happened. beekay had taken or had decided to talk to Abobo. Apparently, because of that Saturday thing that happened between Jojo and with him being named Uyanda, I had spoken about it here. Yes, because of that stuff that had happened. I mean, apparently Jojo's ideas about men have changed. Yes, I mean, she sees men differently now. And Nate is of the opinion that the guys did not act well. Yes, they did not address the issue. Nobody addressed the issue. And Abobo refused to talk to Uyanda about it. Yes, and I mean, that narrative was going up and down. And BK had taken that issue to Abobo. Yes, basically talking about it, saying that, I don't know, the ladies, especially Jojo and Nate, feels disappointed in the guys. Yes, I mean, they did not do enough. Yes, they did not address the issue. That if it's common things now like food and the rest, a meeting will be held, they will address the issue. But when it came to this, yes, of a guy going at a lady, I mean, what could be done was the guys just remaining mute. Yes. And Abobo was of the view that why would Nate say that? And he even wanted BK to call Nate to the conversation. However, BK, after going in and coming outside, had stated that Nate was asleep. And Abobo wasn't having it. Yes, because Abobo was like, he had a conversation with Uyanda. Yes. And he had spoken about it. He had reprimanded Uyanda, telling Uyanda that what she did was outrightly wrong. And he had also seen that Uyanda and Jojo had had a conversation. So why would Nate be talking about that and basically spreading his name? And he was not having it. Now, my own point of view in all this is everybody that entered that house are all adults. So I don't understand whether he talks to Uyanda or not. Uyanda is responsible for his own actions. Yes. And basically, Nate, from what we have seen over time, Nate basically paints a narrative about people. Yes. And she does it so well and pushes it out there that at the end of the day, it is a narrative of its own. Yeah, she's good with that. We have seen it time and time again. Yes, guys. And basically, Abobo wasn't feeling that whole thing. And basically, it was a thing of they have to address this whole issue with Uyanda. Yes, and you know, as at that time, Big Brother had not addressed the issue. So it was a thing. And it was a thing that Jojo now looks at men in a certain kind of way because of the incident that had happened on Sunday. It has changed her perception about men. Now, I understand that people see things differently and people absorb things differently. I understand that. But what I would not understand is how one person's action gets to change your full mentality about a whole gender. I mean, let's look at it. You have father, you have brothers, you have friends that are males. So let's look at it. Those people's actions should at least sway you into thinking that, okay, not all guys are bad because one person came at me. I mean, he yelled at her. But let's look at it. All these other people in her life and all these other people that are with her in the house have never gone at her like that. So I really don't understand why her perspective about men, quote and unquote, has changed. Nate, on the other hand, basically that girl just needs a little smoke and she makes everything catch fire. Yes, I mean, it's a game and that is how she has decided to play her game. It can be a bit annoying, yes, especially as when that whole thing was happening, she had told Swish to leave him. Yes. Now, when I had done that video telling you guys about what happened between Uyanda and Jojo, I had stated it that, I mean, Big Brother was definitely going to address this. I had stated that the cameras did not really show us what had happened. And Big Brother had decided to address it, yes, before the whole nominations. And he had basically done that and he had played the video. Yes, and in that video, we had seen that Uyanda did not hit Jojo, yes, but he went at her face and he was practically yelling at her. Yes, guys. And basically, because of that yelling and all that, she had busted into tears. Yes, and she was taken to the kitchen area, and he had gone after her at the kitchen area. That was where, like, the guys basically held him down and all that, and Jojo was taken while she was wailing and all that to the head of house, sorry, to the diary room. Yes, he did not hit her, as against all those things that were being everywhere, that he hit her, blah blah blah. He did not hit her. Yes, he assaulted her verbally. He assaulted her with his mouth, basically. Yes, so that was what he did. And the first part, before he went to yell at her, we had seen where Sweet had held him and was basically speaking to him to calm down and all that, and he was saying no, he must respond, he has had it and all that. And we saw Nate basically telling Sweet, it's okay, leave him. And I'm like, you are talking about addressing issues. And when it was in the heat of the moment, you were talking to another person to let go of him. Well, I mind my business. Nate is just playing her game. Yes, and she's doing it so well, painting people a certain kind of way. This is not the first person she's doing it with. But as I said in my previous video, she does not formulate things. Yes, she just looks for that smoke and lights it up. She makes it look bigger than what it actually is. That's what Nate does. And you have to give her that opportunity for her to strike. It's a game after all. Well, Big Brother had gathered them together, telling them that, they were lucky to be in the 8th week. He had told them that he was kinder to them. However, because he was kind, they have become loose. Yes, he had told them that, they have been insulting Big Brother. Yes, talking about production, disrespecting sponsors, disrespecting Big Brother. They have forgotten the rules and they lack boundaries. Yes, Big Brother had warned them and basically reminded them that they were guests in his house and that could be revoked. He had then told them that from henceforth, decisions were going to be taken. He had told them that his decisions are always final and they should not forget that. Big Brother had then ordered them to watch the clip, and the clip of Saturday had played and we had gotten to see what had happened. Guys, like, Uyanda went overboard though. He even insulted Biggie. Yes, he threw swear curses at Biggie and all that. Well, Big Brother had addressed him, yes, telling them that, this whole thing with alcohol is in the house so they can be enjoyed and not abused. That it is even a general adult life, that you should not abuse alcohol, yes, and that alcohol is not an excuse for poor behavior, and each housemate is meant to know this by now. They are meant to know their tolerance gauge for alcohol as they are to drink responsibly. He had basically told them that each housemate was to make sure that the atmosphere was conducive for every housemate. And then he had addressed Article 16, which spoke about alcohol abuse. He had stated, or he had asked Uyanda if Uyanda was happy with his behavior, if he was pleased with his behavior. Uyanda had said no, he wasn't. And Big Brother had said that, for making the house unsafe, yes, and all that, Big Brother had issued him a strike and had stated that a befitting punishment will be meted out to him. Yes, and in all this, it's how when they were playing it, Jojo has started crying again. Yes, and siphesihle was there to basically calm her down. Before this, Smash Africa had told us that nominations today were real nominations. Yes, and we had seen that Big Brother had then told them that it was time to nominate. Now, the first person to nominate was Sweet. Sweet had nominated Uyanda, saying that he was nominating him because of the incident that happened on Saturday, because that behavior triggers him. Yes, he had also nominated siphesihle, saying that he wanted to see her up. He wanted to see her stand on her own. The next person to nominate was Abobo. Abobo had nominated Nate, yes, saying that, I mean, he was just speaking with BK, the conversation I had spoken to you guys about, saying that Nate was going around saying he did not speak to Uyanda, whereas she did not know the content of their conversation. He had also nominated Sweet, saying that Sweet is a powerful competition. Now, Jojo was next. Jojo had nominated BK, saying that BK is subtle and intelligent. He's playing the game like he's not playing the game. She also nominated Mshini, saying Mshini is like her. Yes, Mshini is sweet and all that, but she sees Mshini as a competition and that Mshini hasn't been nominated. Now, Uyanda was next. Uyanda nominated Mshini, saying that he wants to see her game, and then nominated Jojo, saying that, I mean, Jojo should take accountability and apologize for her wrongdoing. Yes, that Jojo is making him look crazy, that Jojo knows what she did to him, and he won't just wake up and go at someone like that. That Jojo knows what she did. Now, the next was siphesihle, who had nominated Sweet Galuva and Mshini, saying that, I mean, for Sweet Galuva, he has stood the list and Mshini has never been up. Yes, we saw BK, who nominated Mshini, saying that the whole Saturday morning incident where she was switching narratives on him was what he did not like, and that's why he was nominating her. And then Uyanda, because of his behavior on Saturday, which was bad and it had affected Jojo's perspective of men. Now, Nate was next. Nate nominated Mshini, saying that Mshini had never been nominated, and then Uyanda saying that she's not happy with his behavior, and basically she does not have any other benefit of doubt to give him because she has given him all the ones she has left. Yes. Next was Sweet Galuva, who had nominated Mshini and Sweet. Yes, according to him, he's nominating them because they are competition, and basically one has to go for him to get closer to the money. Yes, the ninth person was Mshini, who had nominated BK, saying that BK had called her a liar and had started to say things about her and all that, that when she now started to say things about him also, he was calling her a liar. And she had nominated Nate, saying that Nate does not respect her, that when she was head of house, Nate did not respect her. And basically, when she approached Nate about it, Nate would give her attitude and all. That was why she was nominating Nate. Then we got to see Nsuku. Nsuku's nomination was hilarious. Yes, let's start from the first one. She had nominated Uyanda, saying that his behavior of Saturday was why she was nominating him. Fine. But Jojo's reason was funny. She nominated Jojo and she said that from Jojo's behavior and all that day, it just shows that Jojo must be close to her father and her mother to feel better. Yes, that Jojo cannot recover in the house. That killed me. I'm like, what? Well, the nominated housemates were now BK, Mshini, Nate, Sweet, Uyanda, and Jojo. And remember that Big Brother had stated that the head of house had the power to add a housemate to the nominated list, and Nsuku was called back to the diary room. And in the diary room, Nsuku had basically Sweet Galuva, Abobo, and siphesihle to choose from, and she had picked Sweet Galuva. Yes. So the final list up, that's the final housemates up for eviction, are BK, Mshini, Nate, Sweet, Uyanda, Jojo, and Sweet Galuva. Yes, and you know that, I mean, people will be evicted, so go vote for your fave. That's all I have for you guys on this particular video. Please, if you're yet to subscribe, kindly click on the subscription button and click on the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I post any new video. Please like this video, share this video, and comment. I love you all so much. Bye, guys.